Why am I the only one here? That was weird.
We're live. There we are. All right. Oh my God. Yes. Well, we see Heather is here, but not here. But look at this cute avatar.
Thanks. Yeah.
Oh my God. So let's go into the intro.
If you've seen my video, that's not actually me. That's the avatar.
Yeah.
I feel like those eyes have to glow, though.
All right. Oh my God, that would be cool. Make them glow.
I have really weird colored eyes. You can never see in camera. They're like a golden green. So everyone always says, even my eye doctor says I'm
All right, let me hop into this intro. We'll be right back. Oh man, I could just see like Ryan's not on the show, but I can still see him going, like this. He loves that tune. So welcome to another beautiful Saturday afternoon here on Reels and Heels. This is episode 71. Wow, man. Every time I see the number go up and up and up, I'm like, really? Is that how many? So, Heather, she'll be back. So Willow, how are you doing? You're muted though.
Yep, sorry. Good. Things are definitely interesting over at the Starbucks universe. We got the Taylor Swift drink that came out. So
what is the Taylor Swift drink?
A non-fat caramel latte.
Ew. So I have a problem. I'm not a coffee person at all.
Okay.
And I've been wanting to do like the cold brews. I used to be a Frappuccino girl, and it was like, if it tastes like coffee, I don't want it. And then I started getting into the cold brews, and I don't know if it's just the area that I'm at just doesn't know how to make a cold brew. Or if it's, sorry for the keys in the back.
I think all this. I feel like all kind of the restaurants have their own take on it.
It's so bitter the last like 4 times I've ordered. It's like black coffee and water, and it's not the salted caramel cream or the white chocolate caramel, whatever. Like, if I'm gonna have coffee, I don't want it to taste like coffee.
I completely understand that. Yeah, no, I'm very much the same way, where it has to be covered under amounts of sugar.
I wanted to say that Heather did some awesome stuff for us yesterday. He was live at Disney World doing all those kind of, cool meet and greets and getting lots of video of just like how wonderful Walt Disney World is in general, like the buildings, the plannery, everything.
Yeah, it's really good, simply for the fact that, it is really my happy place. And, Brian, you were watching the videos and you were saying, oh, wow, it's so nice to see so many people out there enjoying life. And it's true. Like, I go several days a week to people watch and really just actually go out. Up and just
having a little
know
bit
that I'm
issue.
doing my work, but also that if I need some more,
But yeah, when we would go to Disney, that was our happy place.
Thank you very much for doing that PR work for us, by the way. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I will be right back. I'm just going to take my husband's food out of the oven.
Yeah, I really want to do the whole like the Skyway thing. always wanted to try that, but just we haven't had the time to go back and do that. But yeah, so you know, she was there at Disney World doing all that cool stuff. They had the Disney Day special like meet and greets, and they were giving away a pen and stuff, and that was really cool. And speaking of Disney Day, Disney Plus announced tons of new things. And as Willow's joining us again.
Sorry, he wanted the chicken wings. So
chicken wings. That sounds good. What kind of chicken wing?
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Oh.
We're kind of a boring.
Lemon pepper is good.
We're kind of boring flavor wise here, but no, it's I like my barbecue sauces as well.
Yes. So when Heather comes back and joins us, we'll talk more about her Disney trip. But yeah, Disney Plus Day yesterday, they announced tons of stuff coming either next year or in 23. What kind of things are you excited that they announced? Well, I can tell you, I know there's one that you and Nicole are both excited for, and that's X-Men 97.
Yes. I like, you know, the fact that they have some of the original voice actors in it and some new ones. I'm excited for the return of the guy who talked for Beast. And quite honestly, I feel like he could probably portray Beast in a live action, but it's the only problem is I
think Kelsey Grammer's live action version was pretty similar to.
I love Kelsey Grammer's version of him, but I know that, you know, he's probably getting up there in age and won't be able to, you know, fully embrace the character.
Yeah.
But
I did see a Facebook message from Ron Wasserman, who did the original score for that animated series, that he hasn't been approached yet, but he said next year, so I'm guessing like January or so, that he would reach out and try to, you know, talk to the right people.
Like a lot of people are asking for that original note, so you know, I would love to have that tune as well. But yeah, I would like to see them at least, you know, talk to the guy who wrote it, so that, you know, let's get this going, people.
Yeah.
Fans
not only did he did the opening theme song, but he scored a lot of the music in the cartoon as well. And then I had heard something that he might have done some of the sound effects, Gambit's, like every time he held his cards and they would like light up, and then when Wolverine would pull out his claws, he made that like the noise too. And it's cool. Interesting because that the same guy that did this also created the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And then he was in a band, or still is in a band, from like the 80s, 90s called Fisher.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I heard Nicole's home.
Yes, she just got home. She'll be joining us in a minute here.
Sorry,
she's handling Dingo right now. But yeah, we'll get back to the X-Men thing because I know she wants to talk about that because she loves that cartoon. Something else that they announced, well, it was previously announced, but it was the I Am Groot animated series. That was announced, I want to say, last year when they did the Disney Investors Day, when they talked about everything Disney, not just Disney Plus. And then they also, re-announced the holiday special, the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
I'm excited to see that, and I know I know that they're kind of poking fun at the, the Star Wars holiday special with that, but
I mean, look at that.
I'm hoping to see like some kind of, banter between Rocket and Chris Pratt's character about the whole, Christmas gift giving thing.
Yes. I'm going to try something here because Heather called me and we're going to see if this will work here to use my cell phone and she'll talk that way.
Okay.
So hopefully
Hi.
Hi. Okay,
Hey.
so hopefully this will work and there will be no feedback.
I have no idea what was happening because I'm still trying to enter StreamYard. I've been doing it since I was noticing there was a big delay, and then I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah.
So, yay technology.
Yay, technology. So we were talking about the Guardians of the Galaxy, the I Am Groot animated series, which they actually announced last year, but they made the re-announcement yesterday, and the holiday special as well.
Oh my god, I'm so excited about the holiday special because obviously it gives you a memory of like the Star Wars Christmas special.
Yeah.
And then when I was at the parks yesterday, I'm waiting for my magic shot. They actually had a magic shot with Baby Groot. So I love Baby Groot. Oh wait, StreamYard might be working. Let's see, kids. Hold on, let's see. It's letting me enter the studio. Let's see if it'll actually work.
Yeah, let's see here.
Then I can talk to myself.
Well, don't you already do that?
All the time. I talk to the voices in my head continuously.
Well, that's what Randy Orton says. Let's see. Are you there too?
Oh, we'll see. I don't know if everyone can see me. I can see a white dot and a black screen.
I wonder if because you're talking to me here, it's not letting you talk that way.
No, I mean, it's just, we can hang up and then I will call you back.
Okay.
But it's literally just showing like a loading circle for Willow and for you.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can keep you up like this and
yeah, let's just do this and then people can, imagine what I look like for the time being.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure there's a few people that'll be like, "Oh, she sounds nice."
Right. Yes, this is the stressed out Heather voice. I can go lower. You should have heard it when I was sick, like a month and a half ago. Everyone's like, "What happened to your voice?" And I was hitting some bassy notes. It was fantastic.
So
back to Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, can you explain the Baby Groot thing? Like, I hear a lot about it.
What, magic shot or just Baby Groot in general?
Well, like, I guess you can actually take photo ops with Baby Groot. They've done that over.
So Disney Photo Pass started what they call magic shots pretty much years ago when they started implementing the. Let's be real. I started off as a photographer at Disney working for Kodak, and at that point we still had magic shots. It's any shot where they have an animated character or a character that's not physically in the park able to pose with a photo for you. So you'll be told to pose a certain way, and then when you're posing, they will use Disney Magic to transport the character into the photo for you. Sorry, I'm driving, if you guys can't tell, and there's people that are driving like crazy people, because apparently it's Black Friday. Nobody told me on Saturday that it would be Black Friday. Can I get over, please? Please, I don't want to die. I don't think it'd be great for our viewers. They'd be like, oh, listen to this girl die today. No, anyways, so magic shots, really fun and interactive. So sometimes they do like, making what they call a hero pose, or for the 50th anniversary, they have you like blowing a kiss, and when you blow a kiss, it actually looks like you're blowing confetti and sparkles everywhere in the post-edited photo. They used to have, it was so cool, you could go meet Star-Lord and Baby Groot, and it was actually the characters in the park at Hollywood Studios, but COVID kind of got rid of that opportunity for the time being. So I'm sure that once Star-Lord and Groot are done exploring the galaxy with the rest of the Guardians, that they will return.
Yeah. Is there an opening date for that Guardians ride there at Epcot or no?
Not yet. From what I've been told, and from my personal investigation, they're looking at spring of next year. Obviously, COVID kind of held everything up, but they've been rocking and rolling. I don't know, next time I go into Epcot, which might be tonight, I will try to send photos or post photos of what it looks like around construction. I know that they're going to try to open up everything in phases since Epcot's completely going through a full renovation, which is going to be incredible. But it's slow on the upstart simply because of everything that we've had to endure in the last year and a half.
Yes, I can't wait for more Marvel and Disney. I know the whole Universal thing kind of put the damper in a lot of stuff, but I'm in the camp that I believe eventually Universal is going to let Disney have those Marvel rights.
Why would they?
Well,
because
because Universal will find the next best thing that's the hot at the moment, and just like every park, they'll revamp it. I'm most certain that they will do that.
Oh, I just got an update from my meeting. You guys have me for like the next 45 minutes, and somebody is running 20 minutes behind. So hooray!
All right.
I don't think that Universal's ever going to let go of it. I mean, working for both of the parks in my earlier years and following the trail of carnage that both of these parks have done with each other, not in a bad way, but just for everybody's enjoyment, and they're obviously fighting over. Did you guys know that Harry Potter was actually supposed to be at Disney?
Oh, okay.
I did hear rumors about that.
You actually used to be able to buy the books at the Tower of Terror gift shop, and they were originally planning for that to be at Disney. And then they were also planning on, if you remember, the Dragon Challenge or the Ring Dragons. That attraction was actually the largest hidden Mickey in the world, if you looked at it from the aerial view, simply for the fact that it was supposed to be the Animal Kingdom. So they are constantly, and if you look at the original Animal Kingdom poster, you can actually look, you'll see dragons and unicorns, the original one. So it's been really interesting to see them kind of go for the jugular with each other to make sure that their attendees and their guests can actually enjoy themselves within that parameter. But you've got Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal, you've got Star Wars, Black Spire Outpost. There's such a difference between the fandoms. But again, fandoms random.
Yeah. So. And before we hop back into the Disney Day announcements, I do want to get your opinion on the new Universal Park that's opening in the next, 5 years.
Epic Universe. So I actually have a couple of acquaintances, friends who are part of the creative development of that park. It looks like it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Yeah. I'm much excited for two aspects that I have, seen. Obviously, I don't have any insider info for that, but very excited for the quote-unquote dark ride that is supposed to be the classic Universal monsters, and you're supposed to go through Dracula's castle. Which, that's my favorite. I would probably just live there. And then they have, Super Mario, or, the Super Nintendo Land, where you're supposed to be able to do, Mario Kart, which you can actually do in Japan now. And then you can also there's a couple of Legend of Zelda rumors. So,
yeah, well, isn't it also How to Train Your Dragon?
I've heard that, but I haven't seen development on that, so I don't know. That is DreamWorks. They I don't say poo-pooed Shrek, but I did hear, and I'm sure you guys have seen the sad news, that Shrek is going to be removed from the parks, pretty soon. They're renovating it. And it's going to wind up putting in How to Train Your Dragon.
Well, it's always interesting to see how all theme parks across the U.S. and Canada evolve over the years.
Absolutely.
But so the Guardian stuff is coming out with Disney Plus. What else do we see? The sequel to Enchanted.
Yes, and then they have the series for Tiana for Princess the Frog.
Yeah. Was that a film that you expected to take off the way it did, or no?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, maybe it's because a good majority of my family I grew up listening to jazz, and I love that storyline anyways, but I loved that movie. It resonated with me for so many different things. It was classic story, a retelling of a classic story. Anika Rose, who did the voice of Tiana Lake, she is an unbelievable performer. I was really happy with it, and I loved it. But, you know, some people are fussy because, oh, well, now it's going to take over Splash Mountain, and it's time for a change.
Yeah.
It's time for a change. But I'm excited to see the series. I think it's good. I mean, they did a Tangled series for quite some time.
Will it be the same animation? Because I didn't see any.
No clue.
Okay, I didn't see any information. I just saw the title card. So
Yeah, as soon as I see more, I'll start posting. I'm happy to be the resident Disney nerd here. It's pretty fitting, but no, I think there's a lot of opportunity for Disney to really push forward with it. I'm not necessarily a fan of the new animation for like the Fab Five, so like Mickey and Minnie and their new animation style. I'm not a fan of it. I like the other traditional style. Or to me, I'm an 80s kid. Like I love the 80s, animation style. But you know, we all have to change with the times. We all have to kind of grow, and I'll be excited to see where it goes from there.
yeah, I get you. You know, because like most of animation across like all the streaming services and movies is like that. You know, computer 3D, and I think Shrek might have been something that really started it all. That style of animation, and
with DreamWorks, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, DreamWorks, yes, but Pixar was around a lot longer.
Well, yeah, Pixar, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the cast that you had for Shrek was, I mean, let's be real, Eddie Murphy, Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, so many more. I loved it. I still love it. I remember, like, buying the VHS because it included the soundtrack on CD. There you go. I just aged myself really well.
So Kevin B. Blood in the comments says, "What's up, guys?" in all caps. That's like his thing. So.
Hi.
But yeah, I seen like, you know, Mickey's Clubhouse and stuff, which is kind of like in that same
Clubhouse,
yeah,
or
the Disney Junior one, and
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's like the style of animation. I don't know. I don't see Mickey Mouse in them in that. I do prefer the cell animation of the original characters. So I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. I mean, I think even like the Disney Junior style. I don't know. I mean, I don't know it well enough. I just think back to like Disney Junior when it was like Bear in the Big Blue House, and you know, that era. I had a rude awakening when I was in the animation courtyard yesterday at Hollywood Studios. You know, you're walking over at Star Wars Launch Bay, which is on the complete other side of the park from Black Spire Outpost, and I'm looking for that's where they had like the character meet and greets, and I'm looking for the backdrops of, you know, and to know and love over there, and I'm like, where am I? where are the characters that are supposed to be here? Because nothing looks familiar. Yeah. But then again, I don't have kids. I was a kid myself.
Yeah. So let me tell you something about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So our friend of the show, Mark B. Lee, who is an architect, he went to Galaxy's Edge when it first opened, and as an architect, he examines every building he goes to anywhere in the world, and he was looking at all the way it is, and he says he couldn't tell where certain things were like started and where they ended on an architect level, and he was so blown away on how well that land was done. And he's not a super Disney guy. Like, he has his issues with the company in general, but
sure. I would say a lot of people do. But
yeah. And eventually we will get to Galaxy's Edge when
you haven't been yet.
No, I mean when the the thing is, money is an issue, and Disney wants to keep raising prices, like, $100 every year, which is getting ridiculous.
It's not $100 every year, but they do have good reason. They're offering a lot. I mean, I will happily stand guard over Disney raising their prices. You also have to remember we were talking the other day about all these people, the flippers that are like buying stuff to resell. Disney has to compensate for that somehow. So if you can afford to go into the park and then buy thousands of dollars worth of merchandise at that point, then yeah, cool. But they're doing so much. They're investing so much into the park, into food options, into the partners that they, have as operating participants. They're doing a lot. And with everything, I mean, they are the most publicized, but look anywhere, SeaWorld, Universal, Six Flags Great Adventure. I mean, everybody is having to raise prices. There's an inflation right now.
Well, what's the price to getting in the park itself?
It depends, because they have like a 1-day 1-park pass, and then they have like a park hopper option. So I think you can only do a 2-day park hopper option. Let's see.
Okay, what's the 1-day pass?
I want to say, depending on which park and depending on what time of season, I think it's anywhere between $89 and $115. So if you're looking at, and I'm just shooting off the top of my head, I'm literally going to Google this now. If you're looking at coming like Christmas week, it's not going to be as cheap as if you're coming like the end of September.
Okay.
But they do offer like Florida resident rates. They have like the Florida Fun Pass, which is one thing they did, where it's like 3 or 4 days. It breaks down to being like $70 a day, and you can use it within the whole year. And it's 1 park per day per person.
Yeah.
I used to do concierge work, like as not property contact for a timeshare. And I had actually been approached to be part of the Disney Tops Tournament of Products and Services a bajillion years ago and took second place. So I used to know all of this stuff, but I've been a little bit out of touch since I'm not in that part of the industry anymore. But when I go later today, I can go check it out. It's still worth it. If you consider that you're creating magic, it's a magical place. There's so many offerings. It just really depends. To me, though, it makes more sense to have an annual pass. I pay like $30 a month. I get free parking. I get discounts. I get special invites into the like pre-opening events, like when Ratatouille was opening. I got to ride it first because I'm an annual pass holder. Yeah. So there's benefits to everything. One of my best friends who lives in Wisconsin, they have annual passes. Simply for the fact that they're here about once a month, but at the same time, it's, I think, what did you say? It was like $17 more a month for them, and people were throwing a fit when they changed the new annual pass holder tiers. So I guess it's all about perception and what's valuable and, what people can afford, for sure.
So another thing that I'd like to bring up here that was announced since, we were all kind of talking about our age, the sequel.
I was not. I don't know what you're talking about.
The sequel to Willow.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited.
Yes, the trailer that they put together was really funny.
Oh yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Let's feel old. My admin for my group, who's a good friend of mine, she's like, I don't know what Willow is. She's 2 years younger than me. I'm like, wait, how is that a thing? No, I'm okay with the trailer, to be honest. Anything, look, I don't care what the trailer does, as long as the movie is coming out, like, I don't care. the people that appreciated Willow, and I mean, people named Willow should probably like the movie too.
Absolutely.
But to me, it's like, if you know it, you're going to see it. If you look back at movie trailers now, like, go look at the Princess Bride movie trailer. And then you tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, movie trailers in general are not made the way they used to be, and neither are movie posters.
No, not at all.
But what do you think was the holdup on Willow? Why did Ron Howard take so long to do this?
I don't think there was a need for it. I don't know. I mean, I went to school for film and animation, and there's a trend you have to follow when bringing in a sequel or a new version of something. You have to make sure you're not going to upset the fans. You're going to have to make sure that it's a love letter. You have to make sure that the world is ready for it, which sounds silly, but you really have to make sure that people aren't going to say, well, screw you just remade the thing and you just ruined this. And you have to make sure that the actors are available. You have to make sure that you're not going to input too much special effects that's going to take away from the romanticized version of it that everyone has in their head. And Ron Howard's a busy dude. Let's be real here. He's a very busy guy. So is his daughter.
Yes.
Super uber talented daughter.
Yeah. I mean, she can run in heels. Let's be real here. Do you remember that controversy when Jurassic World came out?
Yes, when she ran from the T-Rex in heels. Yes, I remember.
But there were people that were doing like TikTok challenges even back then, where they were like showing people like working out in heels. So I was like, look, if Bryce Dallas Howard can do it, I think that's fine. Like, don't pick on.
Hey, if Paula Abdul can dance in heels, I think anybody can run in them.
Yeah, that's right. Paula Abdul used to dance in heels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
it's not the Converse and kicks that you'll see now in music videos, if there's ever a music video out anymore.
Right. So another thing that's getting a sequel that was kind of a 50-50, like 50% of people said why, and then 50% of people are like, yeah, and that's Hocus Pocus.
Okay, I'm excited for that, and screw anybody that says anything different.
So I like this picture. I have this picture up right now, and
I can't see it.
Yeah, it's basically like if you look at it, you're like, that's a still from the old one. No, this is a still from the new one, and
you can tell because Captain and Jimmy's older.
Yeah, it's the three sisters there.
I just posted it in our chat.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have friends in the Orlando area who are friends with the Sanderson sisters during the Halloween season. I have a Binks Loungefly. That's my favorite. I mean, I have friends that live in Salem and that's their life. And I'm so excited. First off, it's bringing, money to Salem, which is great because that's where they're filming it. Second, now it's the kids that watched it when we were like the quote unquote appropriate age for Hocus Pocus. And now the majority of people that are, around our age now have kids that want to show it off to that next generation. I think it was the right time. There's been such a fan petition for it.
Yeah.
I think, though, that's a lot of why there's a sequel to Willow and there's a sequel to Hocus Pocus now, because I think all of us miss or wanted a love letter written to our generation. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's the nostalgia of it for sure. Our generation kind of gets screwed a lot.
Well, and we all have kids that we've been sharing this stuff with, like to quote unquote raise our kids right. We're trying to like instill all this stuff into them, and like our kids, they did enjoy Hocus Pocus, and I think that if they were a little older, they're not quite old enough to understand Willow now, I don't think, but
I don't think I'm even old enough to understand Willow sometimes.
Well, and even the Never-Ending Story, to be honest, they weren't quite ready for that either. And so at the end of the day, it was like, well, we kind of just like shared it with them, and if they enjoyed it. So like Oliver, not to like change anything, but he watched Recess and he thought it was the greatest cartoon ever. And I was like, rad, because I was watching that cartoon when I was 15. So, at the same time, around the same time I was watching X-Men. So anyways.
You brought up a trigger word for me, Never-Ending Story. I have heard rumors that they're bringing out a new one, but nothing's been confirmed. What do you think?
I don't know if we're ready. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for another one. Like, there were certain things about the first one that were very special, and then certain things about the second one.
I mean, yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm ready for it, but as long as it's a good story and they pick someone who's, a good a good fit, you know.
Honestly, if they change the look of Falcor, I think I'm gonna cry.
Who's just trying to, again, that love letter to the fans, which I think is what Disney Plus is doing with everything, is that they're going, okay, but you guys really like this, and we introduced this character, we're going to do this. Like, I am so excited to see what the next year is going to bring for media and entertainment. I really am. I truly, truly am. Disney Day yesterday, like Disney Plus Day, it was a cool buzz, guys. Like, just besides the parks, like the parks are fine, but like, I was sorry, there is a very impatient person who's trying to cut across 3 lanes of traffic if you hear a door knocking. But
they do that here in Winnipeg all the time too.
It's the social media releases, and everybody is just losing their minds. And it was about everything different. There was not one single person who was like, "Oh my gosh, She-Hulk." Like, it wasn't just every single person. It was, oh my God, I'm so excited for Willow too. And like, I love the fact that High School Musical, the musical, the series just got a 3rd season. There's so many different levels of it that it can appeal to such a broad fan base that I'm here for it.
Yeah. Cheaper by the Dozen is getting another film. And it's interesting because I remember the original Cheaper by the Dozen, but then I also remember the, what was it? Was it in the 90s or the early?
Mine and Ours. Isn't that what it's based on?
You're talking about the Steve Martin one.
Well, there was an old.
Original.
Yeah, there's the original Cheaper by the Dozen, and then there's the Steve Martin Cheaper by the Dozen.
With Bonnie Hunt.
Yeah. So now there
were 2 of those.
Yeah, and now they're doing the newer version of Cheaper by the Dozen, which I guess they're gonna, as I don't know why some people use this word. They're gonna. I hear a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're gonna make it woke." It's like. Oh.
Okay, so admittedly, I said that word last night while watching Eternals, or after watching Eternals and discussing it with my friend, and it was not actually intended to be the way that I put it out there, but it applied. So,
I think that it's important to look at the way I think by putting out the way different people deal with things in certain time periods,
absolutely,
it teaches people that they're not all that different from us. So
100%. I mean, people are going, oh my gosh, there's never been anything like this going on before. Even kids, when kids are getting bullied at school, they're like, no one's going through this. This is the first time ever. And when you can realize that we're just constantly on repeat in society and in the media, like constantly going and going, and you just kind of have to be ready for it. But I think it is great when you have different generations, it kind of helps close that gap for sure.
And I was that kid that watched the Wonder Years religiously. Like, I watched every episode, probably watched it 3 or 4 times. And so as an adult watching the new one from the perspective of the same time period, having a Black family, I think it's just, it kind of like adds to that time period, because you're like, and it makes it really real without preaching at you. And so it's so much more enjoyable, because you're like, not only are these characters hilarious like they were in the original, but you're getting like a history lesson. But it's not being like, oh, well, this was so wrong and this was so and it gives everybody a chance to see how interesting those times were for everybody. Because we don't see it.
I don't think that anything needs to be whitewashed or blackwashed or purple washed. Who cares? I just think that there's a tactful way of doing it, and I think that there are some entertainment outlets that are doing it really well, and I think there are some that are just it's pushing it a little too much. Where I'm just like, and everyone's gonna hate me for saying this, and it's like, I'm a girl. I am like not anti-feminism, but I'm not like girls power. I was so upset with Endgame, guys, like with that whole like girl power scene. Like, it was not necessary.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel has been so shoved in our faces. I'm like, great, girls can do anything. Okay, great. But we can't right now. We're working towards it. But like, why is that the agenda? And, I'll share a brief kind of off topic. And I think I kind of touched on this last show. I have a very close friend of mine whose child came out and is not necessarily afraid to share with the rest of the family, but more so like, why is it such a big deal that of who I love? Like, not a big deal. Like, it's just like, you love somebody, I love somebody, just a different kind of person. Why is it a big deal? And I love that that's the generation that's coming out now, because I think they're going to freaking empower the world. But I think that it doesn't need to be shoved down their throats. And I think, like, so...
I
no
think
spoilers here.
I kind of feel like that's the opposite from where I'm seeing kids, because my kids are all about the label.
Really?
I'm gonna label.
He's 12, so I don't know.
But when she says my kids, she's talking about her kids in her classroom.
In my classroom,
I know.
In my classroom, I teach 8th grade, so my kids are like 13, 14. And they're all about the label. I'm bisexual. I'm pansexual. I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, here's the problem with giving yourself a label. First of all, if that's how you introduce yourself, because that's never how I introduce myself. I'm always
so like, hi, I'm Heather and I like boys. But I guess,
like, I don't say that. I'm like, you know, you get to know me, you get to know whatever. And it shouldn't matter to you. I'm not going to put it out there in your face. I'm not going to tell you straight up. It doesn't, that shouldn't matter. My problem is that it matters too much to these kids. It almost feels like it's a way to get attention, or it's a way to explain something away. Now, you know, you grow out of things. When you're 13, you don't necessarily know everything there is. And I'm sorry, but when you say I'm this, you don't necessarily understand that. Like, it's developmental.
Yeah.
So our kids are saying all of these things and they have no idea really what they mean. And I'm not okay with it just being like, I'm going to label myself. Like, don't.
That makes sense.
And because for me, I was a lot like that, children. I was like, who cares? It's not the forefront of the things I talk to you about, so why should it matter?
Absolutely. I agree with that perspective too. Now, has anybody here seen Eternals yet?
No.
Mm-mm.
So Eternals features, and this is not a spoiler, Eternals features the first quote-unquote outwardly gay MCU character, which is awesome, but it's not shoved down your throat. It's handled so tact that you're just like, cool, that makes sense. And I'm really happy to see that there hasn't been an uproar from the opposing communities. So again, I think that's really where it comes down to, is where, you know, Nicole, you're seeing it from one perspective where, you know, kids are like, label, but then the way that at least some of the experiences that I've had with friends' kids or whatever is, hey, this is me, it's cool. Oh my gosh. So, yeah. Sure. I went into a store to kill time so I can talk to you guys with Wi-Fi. But I want to talk about
completely understand
things, because, you know, I only have like 20 minutes, so let's figure out fun things to talk about.
All right, so what about Disney is really starting to dig into the Fox library, and they're doing the Wimpy kid series animated this time, which I think is really cool.
I feel like that's a better medium for it, to be honest.
I never saw anything of it, so you guys are definitely more of the professionals when it comes to that series.
Yeah, so the Diary of Wimpy Kid series, what they're doing is they're taking the actual like animation drawings from the books and turning it into a cartoon series. I mean, they tried the live action series, which the first 3 films were all right, and then they did like straight to video stuff.
I mean, people really enjoy. I mean, the kids really enjoy the books, so
and they keep cranking them out. They're like 13, 14 books out.
It gets kids involved in reading, but it also gets the parents involved in like paying attention to what their kids are doing. And it was enjoyable.
Babysitter's Club was for sure, like back in my generation.
And it's enjoyable, and I think the animated medium is a better fit for it. Like, you can do more with the characters.
Yeah.
And I think these, and they're going to do each book as a animated film on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Really cool. What's one book that was turned into a animated film that we actually liked? It has Professor Poopy Pants. What is
Captain Underpants?
Captain Underpants. Yes. I think that was super popular, and then I think that's what Disney's trying to do with this series.
And I think that they're gonna pick the books that get the most bang for their buck. Like Captain Underpants had huge readership, and so does Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So if they can find, where the audience is, like I'm saying, like we all have kids that grew up, like all of this generation, like our generation have kids that grew up reading pretty much every single one of these books. So, or are reading every single one of these books. So why not? It makes sense.
Shane, who is 19, he was reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid. So that's how long.
That's how we got him to read a chapter book. He read informational text and books about wars and vehicles, and there was no fiction in our lives. It was all nonfiction informational books, which is still like that.
That's so cool.
With the other boys. So
let's see, what else did they announce? Well, this was also announced last year, but they reconfirmed that it's coming soon. The Chip and Dale live action film.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant. I mean, is it gonna? Don't get me wrong. Alvin and the Chipmunks was good. Jason Lee was great, but I don't want to see Alvin and the Chip and Dale like that. And what are you gonna do? Not have Donald Duck? Are you gonna do Rescue Rangers? You're gonna have Baloo. I mean,
well, that's what
it
they're
says.
doing.
Rescue Rangers will debut in the spring 2022.
Yeah, no,
I don't want it live action. Like,
no, I agree.
Don't want it live action. First of all, because
and then we go back to that 80s animation that I love. You're getting rid of that style.
Yeah.
It's just going to be like, oh.
And I don't like Andy Samberg. So as long as I don't want to look at him. I don't want to look at Andy Samberg. I'll listen to his voice. I'll listen to his voice if it's disguised as one of the.
I was just gonna say, like, that's an interesting.
So mean, but it's true.
I don't know.
All right. I love SNL, and I'm not an Andy Samberg guy either. I'm not in, and I don't like
Andy Samberg. If you're out there, we apologize to you. That this is how we
we're not hating you. We just don't.
I do like the Lonely Island stuff, though, especially with Justin Timberlake. I mean, that stuff was great.
Okay, but that was but see, this is also like, it was actually like more of our type of humor. Like, we were into like that dirty kind of humor from the 90s, and that's what it continued to be. Like, I hate stupid humor. I just hate stupid humor. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine, for me, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a whole lot of stupid humor. I know people love that show.
Except for Terry Crews. Terry Crews is great.
But Terry Crews has a different kind of humor. It depends on who he's opposite with. Maybe that's why I can't stand that show and I can't stand Andy Samberg. I don't know.
Now, I did just watch what launched yesterday on Disney Plus. I just watched the new Jungle Cruise movie. I don't know if anyone's seen it.
Yeah.
I will say, did not capture my attention the way I wanted it to. I found myself doom scrolling while I was watching it.
I mean, I don't know. We haven't watched it yet.
That was on our list for this weekend.
We watched.
And report that's your homework for tonight. Watch it and report back to me.
Yeah.
We watched.
It didn't play off like the Mummy a little bit.
No. Well, I mean, same concept, 100%. They tossed all the dad jokes, like the actual Jungle Cruise style jokes, like the sarcastic dad jokes. They were like pushed on you within the first 10 minutes of the film, which it was great to see The Rock deliver that. But like, I was looking for more. It was Pirates of the Caribbean meets The Mummy.
Oh, okay.
That's how I felt, and I love both of those films, but together they just kind of were a little bit off. And I'm disappointed because I was still looking forward to the film because I love the Jungle Cruise.
Okay, so then I have homework for you. You need to go on Netflix and watch Red Notice.
Okay, done.
Because I mean, Gal Gadot, The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to definitely watch it too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ryan
but I say
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Now I want to talk about Paul Rudd because I've got you guys for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I
Yes.
showed Nicole last night all the Ryan Reynolds, Paul Rudd jokes.
Oh my God.
I
each
love
other so
it.
much.
And it's hilarious because, like, I don't understand why it took them so long. Like, I watched Clueless and I was like, forget everybody else. Who's her older brother?
Yeah, no, but see, Clueless is where I fell in love with Paul Rudd, and I didn't have like a celebrity crush, but I was like, he's perfect. He's got the looks, he's got the sarcasm and the snarkiness.
Yeah.
So like, just let it, just change it. So yeah, no. But now it's like, oh, Paul Rudd is literally still the same person. I wondered how he was on the set of Clueless. I want to absolutely Silverstone.
Yeah.
I mean, he essentially looks the same too.
So
Higher.
I did have this in the description. I will need to find Paul Rudd and ask him where he's hiding the Fountain of Youth.
Well, I mean, the Fountain of Youth is in St. Augustine. I don't think it's even the Fountain of Youth. I think he's a freaking vampire.
Possible.
It's like, even whose blood are you sucking, dude? Like, I don't think because I don't think that would ever do that good of a job.
Well, what did Ryan Reynolds say, that he's drinking milk from a
Breast milk from a baby whale.
from
Or from a whale.
Yeah.
From a blue whale.
Oh.
Yeah. But how can we disagree with that? We don't know. What is your secret, Paul Rudd? What is your secret?
Yeah, I'm curious on what people when they do their Man of the Year, what are they looking for when they?
I think it's all about the popularity of the actor at the time, or the
I don't
singer.
know.
Or
Now I want to find out. I will investigate, because I'm also a little bit miffed, because why was it not Sebastian Stan?
Well, and why wasn't Sebastian Stan not nominated when he was the title character in one of the title characters in Winter Soldier? Like,
I agree.
I mean, there's been that like 5 years of him being on top of people's radar, and he is not.
He can be on top of anything he wants to be. But there's such okay, so don't judge, but I am totally a fan of a Facebook page that is for Sebastian Stan lovers. And some of these people are freaking crazy. But it's really fun to see the photos, images they just posted, like his high school yearbook and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, he's such a little baby. But I'm almost curious if it's similar to how you get a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Have we considered this? Do you have to petition and pay to have that honor?
Well, I'll actually have an answer to that eventually, because I am friends with Levi, who is the general manager at Mann's Chinese Theater.
Nice.
He does a lot of those Walk of Fame ceremonies, and
I know the Walk. Well, we know the Walk of Fame. You know how that is. I'm saying for people who are on Stand Alive.
Yeah.
Well, and why is it that it's only like movie stars that end up on the cover page? That's my whole thing. Or musicians, like very.
Say they're celebrities.
Because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest, like the sexiest TV star has been Jensen Ackles the last 3 years, 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
But he's never on the cover of, So.
I really do. I am almost willing to put money on the fact that it is a petition thing that they have, and that they have to pay to play. Like, I mean.
Well, I found an article from CNN about how they make their decision, and so yeah, it's.
I'm gonna Google Googling this right now.
Okay.
Does people? Yes.
What does CNN say?
I know.
It asked the question, how is the person chosen? And the quote is, there are so many different variables and ways of approaching it. A starting point often is when we want to make a decision is to think about the zeitgeist, think about what is sexy at the moment. What do people find appealing at the moment? Next is looking at what concepts will make sense visually. Do we find them sexy? And we look at data. We have more than 90 million consumers a month stepping into the People brand. So we've got a lot of data at our fingertips.
Huh.
And
Google uses, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you can.
I was going to say, the People Wiki states that the annual feature is billed as a benchmark of male attractiveness and typically includes only famous people and celebrities, determined using a procedure similar to the procedure used for Time's Person of the Year. The origin of the title was a discussion on a planned story on Mel Gibson. So if that tells you that who the sexiest man alive was, and they were originally saying Mel Gibson years ago, I'm a little scared.
Well, at that time, he wasn't crazy.
No, but he just always had this like derpy look to him. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, like they've had Tom Cruise as Sexiest Man years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the past in my head here. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds, George Clooney, Tom Cruise,
Blake Shelton, Patrick Swayze, Idris Elba, John Legend, Brad Pitt. Yeah.
Well,
there's been some good-looking dudes, but I agree. Why does it have to be a celebrity? I totally agree with that statement in question.
Well, and why is it always? It feels like it's always a movie star. Like it's always somebody who's
like
broken
a super big
like
name.
that super huge
Well,
name.
I mean, Blake Shelton. How many times has he been voted Sexiest Man?
Twice, I think.
What? Oh, I thought it was more than that.
Well, and here's a question too. Do you think that it's a marketing push?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. You have to look at who's going to bring in the biggest push. Paul Rudd, everyone has talked about him not aging for a million bajillion years. You know, girls still have him, guys still have him up in their walls. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good-looking dude, but he's also downhearted from what he shows in the media and very chill. Yeah. And maybe that's what they're trying to push. And then, of course, with Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then all of the Multiverse of Madness performances that are coming up for all the other rest of Marvel, I think as much as I would have loved it to be Sebastian Stan, he had Falcon and Winter Soldier, but there's nothing coming up in the media in the next 6 months, unlike Paul Rudd. So I think that it's a culmination of a lot of different things coming up. And I'm not complaining. I don't think any of us are. Well, Brian might. But
see, okay, I love Paul Rudd because of the fact that he often portrays himself as a nerdy kind of guy, and that's the type of guy that I'm attracted to be honest. I will always go for the nerdy types.
Yeah.
I have a shirt that says "Talk Nerdy" to me.
Well,
and he also doesn't look bad topless because there's like those shirtless photos on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Not complaining.
Yeah. So his new show with Will Ferrell on Apple Plus, it looks really good. He plays a shrink, and this is actually based on a true story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I still don't have Apple TV, but I definitely want to find a way to watch it.
Yeah. And it actually premiered yesterday. I believe the first 3 episodes are out already.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks really good. I know Nicole's not really a fan of Will Ferrell. Like, I know Will Ferrell is a good actor. His comedy is different.
It depends on who he's
some
teamed up
things
with.
he's good. It depends on who he's with. Like, Anchorman, he was good in that. But like, I know a lot of people love Step Brothers.
It was a terrible movie. Not a movie that you should have gone to see in the theaters, quite honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not a Will Ferrell girl.
I think Will Ferrell's movie, like my favorite Will Ferrell movie is Elf. Just because it makes sense for him to be ridiculous Buddy the Elf.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan. I wasn't an Anchorman fan. I wasn't a Step Brothers fan. I wasn't the I can't think of the name of it. The racing fan. Like I'm not a fan.
And I
It's going to be
particularly find him funny on SNL either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
never
parent
really found him interesting or funny on anything. And I didn't think,
Yeah.
like, they trolled the Jimmys, like him and Ryan Reynolds trolled the Jimmys like the other day. And
Yeah,
I didn't
week.
find him funny on that either. Like, I just don't find him funny. And
I mean, the situation was funny.
the situation was funny, but he wasn't funny. And that's a me thing. And
I
that's
didn't even
fine.
like him on SNL. Like, and this is going to be a really bad thing to say. I'm not even a Jim Carrey fan.
I'm not anymore.
Crazy class. No, I mean, I enjoyed Ace Ventura when I was younger. And Eternal Sunshine on the Spotless, whatever. That was great. But, like, then it just got to be too much. And that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, with Jim Carrey, he was great in Sonic. That was like old style Jim
Yes.
Carrey. But
I agree with absolutely.
I think Jim Carrey's like really great work is when he did Man on the Moon.
Okay, and Truman Show. I'll give him that too.
Yeah.
Mine was Liar Liar.
Liar Liar.
I liked Liar Liar.
That was the end of
Everything
like the
else.
old style.
Yes, Man. Okay, let's go there. So I don't like the old style, but Yes, Man was great too.
Bruce Almighty.
Mhm.
Okay.
So like Liar
That's an
Liar
old
and Bruce
style.
Almighty are my go-to Jim Carrey movies. I can't stand
Okay.
Ace Ventura anymore. I don't like anything he did on SNL. I just superhuman.
You mean-
Stupid
You
humor.
mean Living Color?
Yeah, in Living
That is-
Color.
I meant to say in Living Color.
But I
got you.
do think Jim Carrey was on SNL.
He did a bit. I mean, he hosted, but yes, it was like his bit was Night of the Roxbury.
Right. Yeah, he joined him. They're right.
Yeah. But
Yeah, he joined
I
him.
do have some props here for the Paul Rudd stuff. So like my favorite Paul Rudd roles, this is probably my favorite role of his is the 40-year-old virgin.
Really?
Yeah.
All things for you? Okay.
I like his character, and then the sequel, This Is 40.
Yeah, that wasn't a.
Oh no, the sequel to Knocked Up. This is 40.
40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought A Mission with Tina Fey was good.
Didn't see it.
Super good. And then of course Clueless. Because
Clueless, yes. I mean, Ant-Man, though, like, he's freaking great in Ant-Man. I mean,
Mhm.
perfect. He embodies it so well.
Well, yeah, if you
Yeah.
remember the Scott Lang character in the Marvel comics, yeah,
Yep.
Paul Rudd, it's kind of just like Robert Downey Jr. I mean, really
For Iron Man.
was Tony Stark.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, and here's something that I'm going to throw out of left field. Scott Lang, it always kind of brings it up to me, too. Like, you have, like, the single dad, and you got this going on. I would wonder, and I know it's going to, like, be blasphemy to a lot of people, I would wonder how a Santa Claus reboot would be with Paul Rudd.
That would
I
be
might not hate that.
I was like, you guys were all quiet. You were thinking about it.
Actually, if you look at Tim Allen and Paul Rudd, their style of comedy and acting kind of parallels each other.
It's their comedy is similar.
Yeah.
I think
Both good-looking single dads, that kind of thing.
I think Tim Allen was a little bit more
Dirty.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Tim Allen stand up.
Definitely crazy. Yeah.
But what I want to see, and I've researched this, Ryan Reynolds and Paul Rudd have never done a movie together.
Okay.
I want to see a Paul Rudd, Ryan Reynolds film. I don't care if it's a buddy cop film, or that actually
Now I
might.
want to see Ant-Man and Deadpool.
Ant-Man and Deadpool, that would be good.
That'd be amazing.
I don't really care. They're both the same movie.
Fuck that. You got
If they're in the same, I'll go see it. I will see it. I will buy it. I'll probably watch it 10 times a year. I'm just saying, like, I don't care what it is. Like, put them on screen together. I'm never gonna leave the screen. Like that's
so it could be just Paul. It could be Paul Rudd and Ryan Reynolds sitting on 2 bar stools reading the telephone book.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you add Sebastian Stan, I'm never leaving my TV again.
And if somewhere in the middle they just take their shirts off, I don't mind.
It has to be written into the contract like Taylor Lautner was in Twilight, but couldn't appreciate it because it was like watching child porn.
Yeah, that was
and
little.
on that note, I have to go to my meeting.
Enjoy your meeting.
Have fun.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Heather. Before,
yes,
where can people find you on social media?
Right here, Reels and Heels. And they can search my personal Facebook page. And that's fine too.
And then of course, still serving.
Still serving. Yep. If you're in Central Florida, or if you want to support locally owned and operated restaurants in Central Florida, stillservingflorida.com will take you to our Facebook page. You can see all the cool things going on, and all my fun restaurant reviews that don't involve dying or something. I don't know, something crazy, because that'll be reserved only for Reels and Heels. If I'm gonna die, I'll put it on live.
Oh, boy.
Oh Lord.
Okay, she says that now all I can think of is when that Paul Logan or one of the brothers,
Logan Paul.
did the thing in Japan, and yeah.
Yes, yeah, no. Okay, well, I'm not gonna die now. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we're all fine here. How are you? Thanks.
Yeah.
Good luck on your interview. We believe
All right,
in you.
Hey, break a leg, all right?
Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. I will follow up with you guys, obviously, after my meeting. But for everybody else, I will see you, and you will see me next Saturday.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's way too hard to try to have her on the phone, though, because you can't hear anything. Like, I don't know.
Oh, look at this. Our friend John is here. What's up, John? Yeah, he just announced that he's going to have a booth at Spookula in Ocala.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be cool.
Cool.
So, yeah, now I can't unpicture the whole Ryan Reynolds, Paul Rudd, and Sebastian Stan shirtless.
Hey, you know what? I love Ryan Reynolds' feud with pretty much any actor that
Hugh Jackman, everybody.
Well, that's his most popular feud.
Yeah, I feel like there needs to be a feud between Ryan Reynolds and Paul Rudd. So some form of a, or maybe just to tease us, like a bromance.
Yeah. See, as I mentioned, he said he's looking forward to it.
I'm so one of those people that like I don't get angry with guys who are like girls, like I don't get angry with that because
this is what happens if you get
dirty.
Angry.
Like we are dirty too. Like we are just as bad.
You are a dirty bird.
You're terrible. And don't tell, and I speak this from like, honestly, it's me too. Like I say this about myself, but all of my friends were exactly the same way. Because if we talk about someone, like there's a conversation.
Women are just as bad with the locker talk, locker room talk.
Oh my God, we're terrible. And so when we were talking about, so when Chris Evans leaked the picture, his unsolicited dick pic, and I was like, how did I miss this?
Hold on, and it had the text. The text that says
protecting the pussy. I was like, I'm just gonna die. So I thought it was hilarious, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's this picture? Like, I couldn't find it anywhere. And my friends were like, they were screenshotting the news articles before it got taken down, and she sent it to me, and I was like, I'm so bad, like I'm terrible. Because I was like, I could never get mad at another man before. So it's like, it's completely natural for us to be like that. But I think we assume girls don't say stuff like that, but we're raging, crazy people.
This
too.
is what I wanted to show you the other day. I can't show this live because I'll get taken down. No, it's not bad. Those are legit photos.
Yeah,
No.
you're gonna have to send me those in
Yes.
private chat because
Yeah, you have to send it. You need to send that to
Yes.
Willow.
I did-
Screenshot it.
No,
Did you
it's
screenshot it?
saved on my phone. So it has to do with Spider-Man: No Way Home.
I'm super excited about anything that has to do with Spider-Man at this point because.
But hold on, I need to show you this because you weren't here. Well, I do want to show you the revamp of the X-Men cartoon.
I just read something about it. I'm super excited.
Yeah, you weren't here when we were talking about it, so you got.
And I'm okay if it's. I really don't want it to be the new animation. I want it to be old animation, like 90s animation.
I think they are gonna do like a close resemblance to the 90s art. But I think they're gonna kind of update it a little bit with some of the.
Yeah, they're doing all the
facial-
stories from the X-Men comics from the 90s.
I'm
wow.
I'm super excited. Like I can hardly. Like as soon as I heard it, I was like, "That's really cool."
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And
I mean, okay.
I was going to say my friend Mike Perez, who is a comic, he's a convention rep. So he goes to conventions with actors and stuff like that and is their agent. And he reps a lot of the voice actors from X-Men, the animated series. And he just made a post this morning congratulating them. So apparently they are coming back to do voices.
I'm hoping that whoever they chose to portray Cyclops is, has a more commanding, has a just as a commanding voice as the original actor that portrayed him.
I felt like I didn't feel like they shafted Cyclops' character when they cast live action. I felt like the writing shafted his character.
Yeah, he was perfect cast.
I really thought that. What the hell?
James Marsden.
Thank you. I can never remember which one's which. So I always say the wrong one. So I love him and pretty much everything he does too. So
you loved him in Sonic.
And I didn't really want to see Sonic, but it had him in it, so I watched it anyways. But I didn't feel like he shafted the character. I felt like the script itself shafted the character. I felt like he didn't get a fair shake. Like I think that the delivery of the lines and everything he did would have been exactly the way Cyclops.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I just think they just didn't write him very well.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed in the way they wrote him. But
and I hope that they don't change Wolverine a little bit to kind of give him like the Hugh Jackman like sound. I want him because he's originally, if I'm not mistaken, he's from Quebec, Canada. The character Wolverine. So I hope
I think originally they chose. I'm pretty sure he's from Alberta.
Yeah, I think so.
Alberta?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that.
Is that still French? Because he's
no.
I could have sworn the character of Wolverine was French Canadian.
No,
I mean he may have spoken French in some form or fashion, but I'm pretty sure
the character's full backstory was finally revealed in the Origins miniseries. He is from a wealthy. Wolverine was born James Howlett to a wealthy family in Alberta, Canada.
Thank you.
It's so hard to keep track.
And
of
Alberta,
the comics, how they keep changing.
Alberta is
that's where the
central,
Hart,
right?
That's where the Hart family's from.
No, it's eastern.
West.
West. Oh, okay. I don't know all my.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah,
I know you guys are north of us.
Winnipeg, Manitoba is central.
Yeah.
Is Winnipeg who's above Michigan? That's Ontario, right?
Ontario.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I generally do.
Okay, so what U.S. state is underneath you guys then?
Dakota. North Dakota.
As long as you have a
Oh, okay.
Because we like going to Fargo.
Don't you know?
That's why the Dakotas, like North Dakota, South Dakota, have so many like we kind of call it the Midwest accent, but really it's very Canadian.
Yeah.
That's why where I'm from in Michigan, there's more of a Canadian sound to our vernacular too, because of how close we are to Canada. Because Ontario and Detroit pretty much butt up against each other.
Yeah, there's a tunnel that goes right under both Ontario and Michigan. There's actually a documentary, and I wish I could get my hands on it without paying for it. But I mean, you have to pay for it. But there's a radio station that actually that got famous for playing a lot of the music from Michigan.
It makes sense that there'd kind of be like that influence.
Yeah.
Being so close to something. And I think maybe that's why Bobby's mom from Minnesota sounds the way she does, and why they sound the way they do in Fargo, because there's that influx of people in the way we talk. Like it's funny. The kids are like, "Why do you sound like that?" And I said, "You're the one with the accent. I don't have an accent." So because I'm not really a Yankee, like I'm from the North, but I'm not from the North.
Yeah.
Like the Northeast. So when the kids are like, "Why do you say things like that? Why do you sound like that?" I said, technically, if you want to get completely honest, if they interviewed either one of us for a job on a radio station or on a TV station, I'd get the job and you wouldn't.
That's true.
So, they're looking for not even Brian's, because Brian still sounds like he's from California. You do.
And what do people from California sound like?
That's what I was gonna say. I'm like, are they? But I feel like Californians are more known.
You can hear it.
Like
you can hear it in the way they pronounce a lot of their vowels. Because we were listening, like I was doing something over here at the table. I think I was grading papers, and Brian had a podcast that Bobby Fish was on.
Okay.
And
AEW Unrestricted.
For the AEW Unrestricted, and he was listening. We were listening to Bobby Fish, and I'm like, talk about somebody who doesn't sound like he looks. Like he's got a handlebar mustache, and he just doesn't look like
when
he
you look
sounds.
at him, he's got like tattoos,
and he sounds. I mean, he really does sound like a teacher. He really does. I mean, he was a teacher, but he sounds like a teacher, and he's very. He sounds like Quentin Tarantino, kind of like he's really nasal.
Oh yeah,
and so I said, "Where is he from?" And I guess he's from Albany, New York, but he lived in Pennsylvania for a while. I said, "There you go." I said, because that whole area has a certain sound. And so when my kids talk to me, they're like, why do you sound the way you do? I said, because of where I'm from. It's like, sometimes those things don't go away. Because even when I went home, my family was like, you sound different. I said, no, I don't. I still get Bobby's mom when I was in Vegas. Like, why do you sound like Bobby's mom? I don't sound like Bobby's mom.
I thought that was like more embellished. I didn't think that people actually sounded like that.
Apparently to them, I did.
Oh no. Because I actually have a coworker that's from Michigan, and she doesn't have that accent at all.
It depends on where you're from, I think, and it depends on.
Just showing you that they won today.
Yeah, it's about damn time they won something.
Speaking of Michigan,
well, they played PSU, Penn State. Is that Penn State?
Yeah. So for 4 people, for 3 people.
He's like, I don't know. It doesn't say.
or two
Nittany.
Penn State, yeah. That's
But
So yeah, they won.
So-
Anyway.
is it more of a southern Michigan thing?
Yeah.
Where the accent
The
changes?
northern, like with like the UP, there's kind of a weird a weird like meshing of Canadian dialect. It's strange because then you get Yoopers and they do sound a lot more like Bobby's mom.
Okay.
Mine's really nasal. Like I am nasal. I can hear it up here.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that is my accent and how much of it is my just allergies, but the way we say things, like we still say out and about. There's the ow. There's a bigger ow in all of those words.
Well,
When I say cow,
when it comes to Canadian accents, okay, honestly, I don't know where the term "a boot" came from because I don't say that.
nobody says that.
And it's
What,
like,
you're telling me it's not a boot this or a boot that?
No, nobody does. It's more about.
yeah.
What about sorry? Say sorry.
Sorry.
Say
sorry. She did that on purpose.
Sorry.
Sorry.
But,
yeah. So I have friends from Canada that say sorry, and I'm like, but I wonder if that's the nasal, like because my accent is more nasal, like we say sorry.
the prairies definitely have a different tone and I guess dialect, but I mean, I guess the further east you go, the accents definitely change because, you're gonna hit Montreal and you're gonna hit like the Maritimes where
It sounds more
there's more alcohol involved.
That too. But there are also a lot more French influence that
French, Irish. I mean, okay, with more central, you're looking at more European, where German, Ukrainian, some Russian influence. I know Russia is pretty much technically Asia, but I still count Russia as
Russia's Europe. They're Eastern European. You can say that they're Eastern European, but I don't feel
until you get like which part of Russia is closest to Asia? Is that Siberia?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're asking me geography questions. I haven't had to look at a map in 100 years. Like, I don't know. But it always cracks me up. Like, people are always laughing at here. They laugh at my accent.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's because I say certain things just the way I say them because of where I'm from.
He just wanted
okay.
So we're like flashing subliminal messages now. Like everybody
that
talk
was
like Ewan McGregor.
You know that whole joke. Where he pops up. Hello there. But yeah,
you're weird.
They did to kind of go back to the Disney stuff. They did show some concept art of the new Obi-Wan series coming next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate that either. Like, I don't know though. Like,
well, it's
okay.
He's there on Tatooine watching over little baby Luke. It was funny. Some people were joking, so we're gonna watch him change some diapers. How does a Jedi change one's diaper?
With the Force.
Oh, I would
Walk the
totally do that
pee.
though. I would not want to touch a dirty diaper if I had the power of the Force.
No, but in all seriousness, are you excited to see Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan?
Absolutely. Like, I am more distinguished looking Obi-Wan. Although did that guy change looks since the last time he played?
No one talks about someone that doesn't really age either.
Really.
Ewan McGregor. He looks the same as he did in the Moulin Rouge.
he looks a little older, but I think that's because he has a beard. Like as soon as you put facial hair on somebody, they get a little bit more distinguished. They seem a little older. And so like, I'm telling you, if he ever shaves anything ever again, I'm going to beat him because he looks like he's 12.
Oh, no.
I am 12. I'm thinking 12 right now.
Perpetually, your mentality is 12. No, your sexual mentality, I guess, is like 12. But that's a conversation for after dark. My point, and in all generality, is when you put facial hair on somebody, they look a little older. So, I mean, he does look a little older than from Moulin Rouge, but you know, he is. Moulin Rouge came out 95, 95.
No, not that old. It came out in the 2000s. Came out in the 2000s.
2001?
I'll tell you right now.
Anyways, at least 20 years. Everybody looks a little older 20 years later.
Well, I mean, we don't really.
It's funny because all my friends, like you post your first
2001.
Your first social media picture and your current one, and I was like, thank the goddess for makeup. And my friends are like, you look the same. And I'm like,
see, okay, I did that once, and I realized that I had gained quite a bit of weight since, you know, being in broadcasting school, but at the same time, you know, I quit smoking. You know, when you do that, you know, you're gonna gain a little bit of weight.
Yeah. I don't have any excuse for that. Like I was born this way. I don't know. But
he's 50 years old, by the way.
Well, yeah, because he was in everything I watched when I was a kid, and he was older than me. It's funny because you're like, you know, when I was 13, and it wasn't really okay for me. It's like, I think it was funny because it was like when the new kids came out, I used to say this too. I was like, I can't really be a fan of Donnie Wahlberg because Donnie's too old. In the long run, like, so Joe was my favorite, and even Joe was like 4 years older than me. And so at 11, it seemed like a big deal.
Yeah.
Like 15. But I'm like, I'm like, okay, it's not so bad because really he's not that much older than me in the grand scheme of things. But sometimes I forget how old I am. And I'm like, oh yeah.
So I didn't know he's with her.
Well, what was it? I was like 19 when I was dating this one guy. When the Tobey Maguire movie came out, Spider-Man, and I remember reading that he was like 27 at the time. I'm just like, holy crap!
Yeah.
So
Toby was. I think Toby was 26. Andrew Garfield was 28.
I was in my 20s when I was watching Zac Efron in High School Musical. So for me, like in my head, I'm thinking, oh, well, he's much younger. Really, he is not that much younger either. But I was like, it's so weird to be like, I like Zac Efron. And then you're looking at this kid that's like, you know.
And now our superheroes are like in their 40s and 50s. I'm just like, let's bring it.
I was like, that can be America's ass all day long.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't robbing the cradle for that one. But yeah, but Tom Holland, that's where I got to draw the line. I'm like, he's adorable. And that's where it's got to go. Like, can't be anything other than adorable.
Yeah. And then you saw him on Lip Sync Battle and you're like, oh, you lost it.
I was like, what? Yeah, he's quite the entertainer.
Hey,
pretty
the
good
Graduate.
And you know what?
The Graduate exists for a reason, folks.
I saw Tom Holland, like, I guess he was interviewed. And so growing up, his favorite comic was Spider-Man. He became Spider-Man. And apparently he had a crush on Zendaya. And he's dating her. So it's like come full circle.
Wow.
Well, you know, some things work out for some people.
Yeah.
Usually pretty people.
Well, you guys are pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
you, but not that pretty because apparently nobody is offering to pay my way.
All right. So I'm going to pull this up here.
Excuse me, that was bad.
So these are some of the other stuff.
I'm okay. I'm looking forward to the She-Hulk show, definitely. And you know what? Okay, if they do Marvel Zombies properly, then I'll probably enjoy it. But
It's going to be an animated series, so they can do it properly.
Okay.
It'll be hard to not do it properly if it's animated.
And then the Secret Invasion is a live action series with Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn are back in their roles.
Okay.
Show that still from She-Hulk though.
Well, that's not really. That's the actress.
Okay.
It's down there. It's right there.
It's fan made. I mean, but this is the actress.
Gives us an idea what she is going to look like.
I mean,
because all the images that they've released so far is just a leg and an arm.
Yeah, I mean, we did get a little bit of her side, and she is wearing her comic
side boob.
No, not side boob, like rib cage. And she's wearing her comic book accurate outfit, which is cool.
Okay,
okay, you're still sexualizing her before they even release a full body image of her, which pisses me off.
Well, the show, if I am putting all the pieces together, is going to be it's a procedural because she's a lawyer, but it's going to be like Ally McBeal meets like Law and Order. So a little bit of comedy. It should be interesting because, with her being a lawyer,
I'm okay with all of that.
It's nice that there's two lawyers in the MCU.
Okay. But here is 100%, I think what we're talking about is you release a leg, you release an arm, you release a rib cage. You have not, what you've done is put this like,
I'll show you this.
They did not do that for Captain America. They did not do that for anybody. But what they did was when Scarlett Johansson became the Scarlet
Black Widow.
A lot of her ass
my apologies. Was the image of her, posing with her butt out to the camera,
turned to the side, yeah.
But it's like, okay, so where are we on the equalization spectrum when it comes to female superheroes? Would they release an image of Captain America and his butt only? No.
Well, in Endgame, you did get America's ass.
Okay, but that was a joke.
But as a promo picture, no.
But as promo pictures, I understand what you're saying. Like all it does is show that essentially it's okay for them to sexualize a female comic book character, and that's the only way we know how to do it. I feel like the only one they didn't do that to was Captain Marvel. And because she was always pictured head on, like you got the full front view. There was no like, there was no like curvature or anything. And her hands were always on her hips, which I think is probably testament to the character. But also the point is like, we continue to do this to certain characters. Why?
Yeah.
Well, it's been a decades and decades of things, and even in comic books, like
I understand that's why readership is different now. If you're reading Captain Marvel, who's writing her?
I mean,
not a man anymore; it's a woman.
Granted,
so there's a difference.
Granted, She-Hulk has always been a sexual character. It has always been sexualized, and
just a fun fact, just kind of throw off that section there. She was also the first Marvel character to break the fourth wall because she was created before Deadpool.
Huh. Good to know.
But this is what I'm saying, though. It's like a little bit is one thing. But like, and this is why, like, I don't understand Power Girl. Like,
I mean,
all you see is boobs. Like that.
Yeah.
To me, there should be more.
There,
I don't
yeah, and that's that. I apologize for anybody who's gonna think of me as someone who is a feminist and then read it into other things that I've said over the years. I'm not. I don't like Heather. I don't consider myself a feminist as much as other people do. I'm a humanist. I will always consider myself a humanist before I consider myself anywhere near a feminist. But it is frustrating. Like, yes, I'm all for like dressing up as Elvira and showing a little bit of cleavage and all that. But that's a character that
for all this too.
Exactly. But there has to be some form of equalization when it comes to sexualization of guys and girls.
I feel like maybe that's why we do what we do when we're together. And maybe that's why we say the things we say when we're together. Like women in a group are very, like, I don't know if you've ever gone to a male strip club, but that a male review is like,
I'm sorry, I have a hard time taking male strippers serious.
But women are terrible when you go to those things. Like I went to Thunder Down Under in Vegas, and these women are like, I mean,
and Chris
like they don't have
there, right?
No, they don't have the same like no touch thing. Like when you're at a female review, there's this whole like there's no alcohol and you can't touch them and da 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 da. There's no rules for women. Like you got women with their hands down G-strings and you know holding on to ass cracks. I mean, like they're like physical. Women are freaking crazy. Okay, like I'm be honest.
Yeah, at those shows, women are crazy. But at the shows where women are getting naked, women have the same rules as men. Like, because women go to those shows too and watch strippers.
Right. And we all have the same. I mean, but at a female review, it is much different. The rules apply to men, as far as no touch, no this, no that. It's very different than a male stripper and women being all up in every crevice of their, you know,
Magic Mike.
And I mean, like you lived in Vegas, so you saw all of that. Like, what? Like, were there guys show it? I know that there were showgirls, but were there men like that as well? Like showmen?
No.
But
if you went to a male review, like Thunder from Down Under.
Yeah, they had two shows.
You had
Thunder from Down Under that would do nightly shows, and then Chippendales were at another resort.
Yeah, and Chippendales is different. Like Thunder from Down Under, it was like a review on stage, but then they also had them come down off the stage. These women, like I've only seen, you know, strip clubs on TV for women, but there are rules that apply to men. If there's alcohol served, they're not completely nude. If they're completely nude, there's no alcohol. They're not allowed to touch. And if you put them, they're only allowed to do certain things. And there's the rules are there to protect women. I understand that, but there are no rules to protect men in that same
industry
venue. And so when you got a woman all over you, you know, there's a lot of hypocrites in that place. It's like it's a double standard, and I don't think that's okay. But I also think that in a way, physically, we are different. So when you say everybody should be able to play on teams and everybody should be able to join this, I don't feel like everybody should. And physically, physically, we're different. So when you say that, like if somebody is, and I might get a little bit of hate for this, but if you say you're physically something and, you know, you're physically one gender, and then you are making that transition, once those hormones are being introduced, it does change your physique. It does change the way your body works a little, but you're still always a little you're still always going to be that first gender as far as strength and capability and things like that. Like, I really think that if you're a man playing a woman's sport because you're trans is an unfair advantage in some ways.
Mhm.
And I feel like if you're a trans man, you would also be in kind of that same place. Like,
Yeah.
Hi, Grant.
where are
Hey,
you,
Grant.
where are you on the spectrum of being equal to that physique? I mean, those things, I don't think, I think there shouldn't be a double standard as far as that. Like, if women can have their hands all up in somebody's,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like a little bit of equalization when it comes to, like marketing wise. It definitely I understand sex sells, but hey, I would love to have Ryan Reynolds lying down on a bearskin rug just like he did when he was promoting
Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool. And that way he was mocking
With the
them,
rose in his mouth and the fireplace.
But what we consider sexy, and that whole like what turns us on about men is not what turns men on about women. So I get that. Like, I can have a completely topless Ryan Reynolds and be completely okay with it. He doesn't have to take anything else off.
But if you're gonna promote She-Hulk and just release a leg that's coming out of a dress, and I'm sorry, we should be doing the same thing when it comes to the guy superheroes too. Hey, I would have been more than happy to see a promo picture of the America's ass, and that being the poster that everybody has.
Well, they kind of did that with the character of Moon Knight in the trailer that they released yesterday, because it was a full Marvel trailer. And in that trailer was little snippets. That's where the She-Hulk thing was shown, and then Moon Knight. So you got to see Oscar Isaac like as his character, but then you only saw Moon Knight from like the back, and like you didn't like see everything.
But that's different. Like, when you see him from the back, you don't get a close-up picture of his ass. That's not what it's there for. It's hidden, so you're not showing off the costume. So you're not showing off what he's going to look like in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to catch Grant up.
Oh, sorry. What it is me going on a tirade about how the promo pictures that have been released about She-Hulk isn't giving her the fair advantage for the fans.
I jumped on your tirade. I'm sorry. Because I understand like it, and then for the double standard in general exists for women too. So if you think about a lot of the women that are plus size, and so a lot of men are interested in seeing plus size models, and they want to see plus size Victoria's Secret models, and they don't mind, that we're a little bit bigger, and they're okay with plus size women being, nude or whatever. But like there are a lot more things that get censored when it comes to a woman that's over the size of 14.
Yeah.
We get censored more than women that are a size 2.
Okay, so that's the image from the trailer where all you get is somewhat the backside of her, but there's no actual full size image of her. And then there's an image of her, I guess, getting out of a car. She's in a dress, and all you see is a little bit of arm and a leg peeking through the slit of the dress. Again, no actual full size image of her as She-Hulk.
And honestly, marketing is that way. Like, you're going to market to who? Are they marketing it to us? Well, maybe not. But my point was, are they marketing it to us? No, they're marketing it to people like him, who
people like me.
Look, sorry, that are looking at the body parts. I'm sorry. You know darn well. But
can you find a
that's
picture
my
of
point.
her as Jessica Walters though?
I'm looking, and a lot of it seems like it's like fan made.
But Willow's
Hold
saying
on. Now
but
Grant
what,
is on your side.
But what what Willow's saying is that they're marketing it, those sneak peeks that we get of female characters are sneak peeks to point out sexualized areas of those characters. We don't get sneak peeks of Captain America's ass. We get sneak peeks of Jessica Walters' leg. Why? Because men are looking at their legs and they're like, oh, it'll turn heads. Yeah. Yes, they're essentially marketing to perverts, but I mean, but in general, men do tend to be more visual. You can't lie to me. Don't even say it. Men are more visual, and men find different things attractive on a female body than we find on a male. There are very few women that are like, I think I want to look at all the dick pics available. Most of us don't. Most of us are like, give me a shirtless cowboy any day of the week.
Yeah.
Give me those back dimples on the back, like on the back of Arrow. Like, dude, give me Stephen Amell's back dimples when he's on the salmon ladder. Like that right there, blood boiling. Like I'm like, ooh, haha. He didn't have to take anything else off. Like I got everything I need.
Now she's gonna find a picture of Stephen Amell.
I mean, like there's definition, and it's he's a beautiful specimen. But my point is exactly that. Like,
I mean, okay, here's a picture of her.
Okay, so this is totally from the 70s series. Doesn't that give you like a Bill Bixby vibe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the jeans, the shirt, the glasses. Yeah.
Okay, so I hate to say this, but I have to go donate. So.
Oh, you're leaving?
Yes, I have to leave.
Oh, well, I guess we'll have to end the show. But I
don't end the show on my account, but
I'm sorry to make the show go down this way. I'm so sorry, but it was just a nitpicky thing that kind of.
But I do have to say that tonight is AEW Full Gear in Minnesota, and it's going to be a great show. CM Punk on Twitter said that he was going to do the match in memory of Eddie Guerrero, who in the same city passed away 16 years ago. And then speaking of passing away, someone that is very, very famous, not just here in Florida, but all over the world. She had lost her fight with the illness that she was dealing with this week, was Winter the Dolphin.
Our sweet Winter.
Yes. So many people around the world came to Clearwater Aquarium. People that had, were amputees. Mm-hmm. And she gave them hope. As you see in this picture, she had lost her tail. And they built
her a prosthetic.
Yeah, which was really cool.
That's okay. Cool. I'm saying goodbye to everyone.
All right.
When you ring the bell, see you later. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Willow.
Bye.
I have to go.
Oh, right. Okay. Grant says I got to call Brian a pervert. I'm okay with ending the show now. I accomplished my goal today. Oh man, that's hilarious.
I knew we were friends for a reason, Grant.
That's all right, because I'm looking here, and yeah, you guys are right. I'm a pervert.
We're all perverts, Brian.
No, I do want you to, since you're good at this, can you pull up this write-up by Eddie Kingston It's the one that I posted on my Facebook a couple days ago, and I said it was worth the read.
Okay, I will have to stalk your page for a moment.
The website is the playerstribune.com.
Okay.
Eddie Kingston did a full write-up.
Okay, that's just... No, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Got no business being here.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Eddie Kingston is a pro wrestler that, and he deals with mental illness and depression. And he was always told, that he wouldn't make it. Yes. I suggest everyone to go read this article. If you have the article up, if you want to read just a little bit.
What do you want me to read in specific, or is there?
Just you can find like the top here, like at the top where it says "for most of my life."
Okay, for most of my life, I thought I was crazy, nuts, insane, psychotic, violent, sick. Oh, come on, Eddie, you're bullshitting. This is work. We get it. It's part of the character. My guy, you really don't understand. I've been out of my mind since before I can remember. When I was in 10th grade, I got into a beef with the kid over some stupid neighborhood bullshit. I literally couldn't even tell you what it was about. The next day, I'm sitting in class and I see the dude walking in the hallway. I'm full of testosterone, piss and vinegar, so I pop right up out of my chair like, what's up? Now, this is Yonkers. So you're meeting outside in the parking lot after lunch or whatever. No, bro, it's on. Dude drops his books and charges into the room and straight up bull rushes me. Right in the middle of class. Papers flying everywhere. Teachers screaming. Kids jumping on the desk. Pandemonium. And we're in religion class. As a matter of fact, right hand to God. I snapped. I black out. I'm throwing haymakers. I'm smacking the dude with books, folders, everything. They're trying to teach us the New Testament, and I'm trying to German suplex a motherfucker into their chalkboard. It was out of control. I wanted to fight the world.
Yeah, see, he goes and goes in depth. Tonight, he is in a match with CM Punk. Eddie has been in the business 15 plus years.
Oh, wow.
And he was someone that was always kind of overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, story-wise in AEW, he is angry at CM Punk because CM Punk, he feels, is one of the people that held him back. Dingo. Shh. But yeah, definitely read this whole article, Willow, because I've heard people say that it brought them to tears, and that it made them fall in love with the character Eddie Kingston and the man Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
But yeah, all you wrestling fans, this article is like I said, he wrote this whole article, and I can't praise how well it's written. And he doesn't hold back, as you can see in just that first paragraph there. Him and CM Punk are going to have a great match. And like I said, CM Punk is dedicating that match to Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
So Eddie and CM Punk are definitely going to bring the house down.
Okay.
Another match that I look forward to tonight is the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Kenny Omega is putting his title on the line against Hangman Adam Page. And Hangman Adam Page is somebody that kind of fell from grace and character-wise. And he's he's at the top and he's ready to dethrone Kenny Omega. So I think we may see a title change tonight.
Okay, that'll be cool.
Yeah, because for right now, Kenny Omega has held on to that title for almost a year.
Yeah.
So it's time for him to drop the title.
Well, I'm excited because tickets went on sale for WWE
SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
In Winnipeg.
Yeah. And so that's coming up in January, I believe. So yeah, January 21st. So I definitely want to get tickets to that show.
Yes, and if you go, you need to do some live streaming.
I will do my best.
I mean, like when you're like, if it's not snowing outside, do a live stream from outside. Be like,
Yeah.
look, I'm at the arena. Find some wrestling fans to have signs. Make it crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So Willow, this has been a fun show. What do you have coming up? Hold on. Speaking of fun shows, I'm going to tell you this. I told you that it's earlier, but your show this morning on Back of the Cereal Box was off the chain.
Johnny was surprised that I even showed up because he wasn't, it wasn't something that I had planned. I'm just like, I'm up, might as well. But it was a great show. So yeah, definitely.
Dina, oh my God, firecracker.
You guys make it sound like I do a lot.
Hashtag all the show.
Okay. Well, maybe 4. I do Will's Pillow Talk whenever I have a moment to do it. Whenever life isn't
like
crazy.
This, maybe this many.
Reels and Heels and Cryptic Crunch are the 2 shows that I will do no matter what. And then After Dark is just one of those shows that happens like once in a while because, well, if a month happens to have an extra Sunday, then we'll just throw that out.
Oh man, yeah. But that show this morning was great. Like, I'm definitely reaching out to Dina. I think she would be hilarious on this show. But I think she would be great because she's involved in theater and film. So
yeah, and I like her nickname, Fireball.
Fireball. Oh yeah, she's. I like this. What Grant says here.
I know. I like running things behind the scenes too, and that's where I feel like I succeed a lot more than actually being a host of anything, because I enjoy promoting everybody.
Yeah.
And
so, do you have something coming up?
Okay, so I have nothing really for Willow's Pillow Talk. I mean, if someone wants to come on, if someone wants to hang out tomorrow night, by all means, I have the day off. But nothing right now planned. I do have to touch base with a couple people, but I have Cryptic Crunch coming up next Sunday. Which is we're talking to Johnny is actually going to be at CryptidCon. Wow, I can't talk.
You're talking about the goat sucker, right?
Yeah, he's gonna jump on the show, and we're gonna talk about the Chupacabra.
The goat sucker. Oh yes, growing up in California, I had my best friend was from Mexico. And that's like dead serious. Like they really believe in that.
I'm hoping that I don't piss off a lot of people because some of these stories are just like, come on. But, okay, if someone actually can bring me like proof Like, I want videos. I want the write-ups. I want everything. You know, show me what you guys have. Tell me your stories. I'm willing to listen. And you know, I'm not doing Cryptic Crunch to make fun of people. I'm doing it as a tongue-in-cheek way that, you know, there's these creatures that seem very hard to believe, but you know,
Yeah, you know,
we're just having fun about it.
We live in a day and age where we have all this technology. I mean, there's more pictures of UFOs than these creatures. Okay, if that says anything.
I'm okay. I'm willing to. I'm like the Ghostbusters. I'm willing to believe you. I'm here to believe you. I want to hear these stories.
I mean, they do make great stories. I mean, Nicole watches all this stuff on Discovery all the time, you know? I mean, especially the paranormal stuff. I mean, that stuff's more believable, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, okay, as someone who has had experiences with ghosts, like, yeah, those that will always be something that I believe in full-heartedly. But you know, flying creatures like the Mothman just appearing out of nowhere and things mysteriously happen.
So Grant says, that's why I always say, why doesn't anybody grab their cell phone when they see this stuff?
I was watching this one show, and it's like all these weird stuff is happening around people who you know, happen to be outside that day, but like none of the actual reports are being talked about. Like, I'm pretty sure that person wasn't the first person to see, you know, the Mothman flying about at night. You know, that's what I'm getting at. Like, there's got to be more than one report of these incidences. I don't know.
Yeah. So that's what you got going on. I don't have anything going on except this weekend we're watching Jungle Cruise and Shang-Chi on Disney Plus. And of course, tonight we're watching AEW Full Gear, which if you're in the United States, you can order on Bleacher Report, and everywhere else in the world, it's on Fight TV. So go get it. Support AEW because they are the hottest thing in wrestling right now.
I take lots of pictures if you can.
Well, no, I'm not going there. I mean, but if you do go there, it's in Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you are at AEW Full Gear tonight, please, yes, load all the pictures. I want to see it all. But I will be home on the couch watching it on pay-per-view. And like I said, can be ordered live on Bleacher Report. And if you're international, it is on Fight TV. Other than that, I guess it's time that we ring the bell and see you guys next week.